Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we're going to be covering once again another amazing article here from CBR.com, which claims and is telling everybody and making everyone have to believe that Captain Marvel is the most important MCU film since Iron Man. So what you're telling me is that Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, as the subtitles seem to indicate in the early renditions of the subtitles for the various trailers. One of my fans, the subscribers told me about that. But what you're trying to tell me is that Captain Marvel is as important as the first MCU film, the film that got everything started. That is how important Captain Marvel is. Well, that's just total crap. I'm sorry. Like, seriously, stop trying to push this narrative that Captain Marvel is the best thing since sliced bread. Stop acting like she's just some kind of amazing character that, guess what? Comic book fans don't know who the hell she is. The first time that we ever heard about Captain Marvel was when you released your trailer. The reason why is because even comic book fans will tell you, Captain Marvel's history is kind of a bit crazy because it once a time was a male character, then it became a female character, and there's this back and forth and all this other crazy stuff. And it was only recently that the Captain Marvel character that they're presenting on screen actually came into life in the comics. And yet they're acting like it's this character that's been around forever that is finally getting a movie made about it, when in reality, the current rendition of the character has not been around for nearly as long. And even with that being the case, we also know from these comic book people, again, there's plenty of comic book fans that follow this channel that give me updates, that give me a lot of information, that basically the modern day Captain Marvel is just nothing but SJW identity politics. And guess what? Isn't selling well. And yet this character, one of the worst selling characters of recent memory in comic books, again, this is all from people who've told me, who read comics, who follow comics, etc. So you can fact check me all you want. Again, I trust my fans. I trust the people that tell me these things. You're trying to tell me that this person in this movie, they're the ones that are going to be the future and the most important part of the MCU going forward. Shut up. Seriously, the only reason you're pushing this narrative is because, oh my gosh, she's a woman. We have to push the woman. It's the first major female-led film in the MCU, and it's important. Why is it important? Because she's a female. That is not enough. You cannot lead on someone's race or gender. That is not how the world works. Just because a movie stars a certain person of a certain race or gender does not make it any more important or any more awesome than any other film. That's the reason why there's actually a lot of just online confusion and hate about why is Black Panther getting a Golden Tomato Award from Rotten Tomatoes. Oh wait, that's right, because all of the SJW identity politics driven characters and critics, so-called critics on there, show nothing but love to any movie that ticks off those boxes. It really is amazing to me, because I guarantee you this, if Green Book had come out at a different time, like had come out today, it would have been lambasted by critics. It would not even be considered for Oscar consideration, even though it is arguably speaking, objectively speaking, one of the best made movies of the year. But because of all this identity politics driven nonsense around the film that has really come alight because of recent comments by one of the writers who apparently said something that Trump had said at one point in time. Yeah, that's how crazy the world is today. But no, Captain Marvel, that is the most important movie since sliced bread. Oh, wait a minute, no. Just since the first Iron Man movie. We're just going to leave it there. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is at its biggest crossroads since its launch with the original Iron Man 11 years ago. April's Avengers Endgame has repeatedly been promised as the culmination of the story told across the preceding 21 films. But the film that actually stands as the most likely to set the tone for the brave new MCU moving forward is actually Captain Marvel, coming out well over a month before Endgame. No, you stupid idiot. You are, oh my gosh. If you think that Captain Marvel is, one, going to make more money, two, is going to be the most remembered movie of 2018 by general audiences. Of course, critics are saying Captain Marvel was the most important film that came out this year. We need to stand by it. Of course you're going to say that, because you're a shill. Because you are an idiot, because you don't understand how the world actually works. And this is the reason why I'll never be accepted into critic circles, because I just speak the truth. I just speak it how it is. They would rather just sit back and say, oh my gosh, the nuance and all of the amazing parts of this movie are so important and crucial. I don't know why I'm doing Willow's voice there, because Willow is better than one of those SJW critics. The point being, if you are trying to say, writer of CBR.com, that Captain Marvel is going to be more important in the grand scheme of things in Endgame, you are an absolute idiot. It's the same people who last year said Black Panther was a better movie and a more important movie than Infinity War. I'm sorry. The movie of 2018, without any argument, if you were to take a poll, and an honest poll at that, you would see that for the vast majority of people, Infinity War was the movie of the year, was the movie that people wanted to see, that people actually saw. $2 billion versus $1.3 billion for Black Panther. And the same thing is going to be here with Endgame. Endgame is probably going to be another $2 billion movie. Captain Marvel is lucky if it breaks $1 billion at the box office. Just because of the fact that, one, it's a character that people don't know who the hell she is. Two, you're having this marketing campaign that really is just turning people off from the movie more so than actually trying to bring new people in. And three, you're releasing it a month before Endgame, which means you're setting it up essentially for long-term failure. Yeah, it might perform in that first weekend. And people continuing to go back to these, oh, well, it's tracking really well, and it outpaced Black Panther for pre-sales. Yeah, so did Solo, and Solo lost $200 million at the box office. So yeah, keep throwing that statistic at me and about, oh my gosh, yeah, we know what we're talking about. No, you don't. You don't know a damn thing. No one knows how well this movie's going to do or how any movie's going to do until we actually get some numbers coming in. But also, we can at least have an indication looking at history. And history is not on Captain Marvel's side here. It really isn't. It really isn't, especially when you have the fact that it's a month out from Endgame and it's going to be within the same universe. The only reason why anyone would want to go see Captain Marvel at this point, for the most part, is if they think, oh my god, I have to see this in order to understand Endgame completely. But based on the first trailer for Endgame, the fact that Captain Marvel isn't anywhere in that trailer tells me all that I need to know. Tells me that I could probably skip Captain Marvel and still be able to appreciate and understand her character in Endgame. Because that's how they make movies now. I mean, they make movies not just for fans who've been watching over the past 10 years, all the 21 movies that come out, but also they want to bring in people who have never seen a Marvel film before. So they kind of have to give enough exposition so that way you at least understand partly what's going on between the characters, the relationships between the characters, etc. It's brilliant screenwriting, and the Russo brothers have shown themselves to be able to handle this very well. And yet, no, Captain Marvel is going to be the most important. It's going to be the most important since the original Iron Man, since the start of the entire MCU. And why? Because she's a woman. Like, let's at least just be honest. You can try and spin it whatever way you want, trying to say, oh, well, she's the beginning of the next phase. She's the beginning of phase 4. And you can spin that all you want. But at the end of the day, you are only saying this because she is a woman. And right now, in Hollywood, in the United States, in modern culture, it's all about the women. This is all very much so a repercussion of the Donald Trump presidency of 2016. Like, let's just call it out for what it is. Some people are saying, oh, you're wrong about that. Oh my God, I have Trump derangement syndrome. You can't say that name. That's not true. Yes, it is. Ever since that election happened, people have been going even crazier than they normally are. Even crazier because, oh my God, we didn't get the first female president. Oh my gosh, this is such a sexist country. Oh my gosh. No, we're actually not a sexist country. We're actually probably the best country when it comes to women's rights, but we can't talk about that. No, we can't talk. We were brave when we say women deserve equal pay. They already receive equal pay. 99.9% of cases, they receive equal pay. And guess what? If you don't receive equal pay for equal work, an equal background, guess what you can do? You can sue, you can go to court, and guess what? There's laws that already protect you on the books. Oh, but no, let's not talk about that. Oh, I'll go in front of the millionaires in Hollywood as I receive my giant solid thing of gold or gold plate or whatever it is now. I'll receive this extremely expensive piece of hardware at the Oscars or any other award show, like the Critics' Choice nonsense that happened last night. Oh, the Critics' Choice Awards. Yeah, it explains a lot. If you want to see the reason why Rotten Tomatoes sucks, as far as the aggregator for all the all the critics reviews, and just if you want to go into the mindset of what the critics are thinking, go ahead and just watch some clips of the show last night, and even more so, look at the winners, because that tells you all you need to know about the current state of Hollywood, because those same idiots are going to show so much love and so much support for Captain Marvel. Just like Black Panther last year, I predict this is going to be the highest rated film of the year. No question in my mind. You're going to see this in the 95, 96, 97, unless there is someone who seriously dropped the ball. Again, that would be a huge if. This is going to be a movie that's going to be shoved down our throats. But guess what? That does not mean that people are going to see it or that people are excited for it. And if you want to know, if you want actual numbers, like you're trying to say, oh, it's the most important one because it's setting everything up for the future. No, Endgame is setting up the future, because Endgame is literally the end of that era. It's the end not only of the Phase 3, but it's also essentially could be the end of characters as well. So if we're talking about something that's going to be the culmination of 20 films, 20 plus films at this point, and also on top of that is going to lead to the future of the films, it's Endgame. Captain Marvel has very little to do with it. And even though that might be the storyline going on in Endgame, that she's going to be the one that saves the world, and she's going to be the one that the future is set on, you need to understand and know how she's going to be received first. Because if Captain Marvel does not receive the love that they think it's going to receive at the box office, they can very well easily change their plans going forward. Because they're going to stick with their moneymakers. They're going to stick with the people who bring people together, not the ones that just throw other people apart, etc. One of the best ways they can do that is tell Brie Larson to shut herself up about the whole identity politics. Oh my gosh, we need more diversity. I don't care about what a white man has to say about A Wrinkle in Time. Okay, my race or gender has nothing to do with whether or not that movie is garbage or not. Because guess what? Objectively speaking, it is garbage. And that's why most critics and even audiences hated the movie, and why it's considered to be one of the worst movies of last year. And that's not just because I'm white. It's because it was a bad movie. So if you get her to stop talking like that, which at this point it seems like they've gotten her at least a little bit controlled, but obviously she, can do whatever the hell she wants at this point. And she already said in an interview saying that she doesn't really care necessarily about the fans. She's just doing this for a paycheck. She's just doing this for herself. And you know what? That's fine. You can go ahead and do that all you want. But guess what? If you don't show the love to the fans won't show you love back. One of the reasons why people love Robert Downey Jr., one of the reasons why people love Chris Hemsworth, is because they show love towards the fans. Because they do a lot of fan-based events. Because they try and visit people in hospitals, for example, dressed up as their characters. But they didn't just get that on their own. One, there was already a basis in the comics. They're some of the most popular characters in the comics. And then secondly, too, they were able to do their effort and put their dues into the movie. Yeah, they got paid a crap ton of money. As you, I'm sure, are getting paid a crap ton of money. But of course, the next thing we're going to hear is, oh my gosh, Brie Larson is getting paid nearly as much as Robert Downey Jr. And she shouldn't. And she shouldn't. Because Robert Downey Jr. is a bigger name. Robert Downey Jr. has so much more worth to it. And it's not because he's a man, you idiots, actual sexist. It's because he has had a longer career and therefore is a more recognizable name. They're going to pay an actor more if that person's name being on the title, if that person's name being mentioned in all the marketing products are going to bring more people into the seats. Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, has not proven itself yet. So stop trying to pretend like it's a big thing. And if you want the ultimate proof of this, and again, this is just one site, but YouTube is pretty much a part of almost every person's life. I mean, YouTube is just gigantic. But if you want to really understand just how much of a difference there is between Endgame and Captain Marvel, look no further than this. When you look to the official trailer for Captain Marvel, in 3 months of it being out, 49 million views. Very impressive. Very impressive. When you look to Captain Marvel 2, 1 month being out, 30 million views. When you look to the final trailer, when you look to the special look, you're looking at 5.5, 1.7 million views. But then you go to the Endgame trailer. 81 million in 1 month. In 1 month, this has more views to it than all the other trailers of Captain Marvel combined. And yet you, CBR, and it's not just Sam Stone and CBR, there's other people doing it too. And yet you idiots are saying that Captain Marvel is the most important part of 2019. You have no idea what you're talking about. You have no evidence of what you're talking about. And on top of that too, you are losing, truly losing what audiences actually want. But anyway, guys, what are y'all's thoughts on this? Do you think that Captain Marvel is going to be the most important thing in the MCU ever? Or are you going to be like me and say, could be a good movie, could be a bad movie. We honestly don't know at this point. Marvel's track record seems to indicate that it'll probably be a good movie that's entertaining. Is it going to break records? Hell if I know. I think it's going to do more like an Ant-Man, to be honest, because Ant-Man was a lesser-known character and still did well enough at the box office. Captain Marvel is obviously being pushed to hell, so you would expect it to make more. But at this point, I'm still stuck between the 400 and 850 as far as total worldwide take. It's not going to be less than 400 million. It's not going to be more than 850 million. Could that film impress me? Could the film do better than I expect? Sure. Sure it could. But we're going to have to wait and see. And if the narrative going forward is going to continue to be whammon, 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 oh my gosh, he's a hero, whammon, you're not going to win people. And in fact, you're not just not going to win people, you're going to push people away in the process. But guys, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.